How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. And as promised, this is a closer look at the Lost in Space Series 2, The Initial Adventures by Monster Wax. Um, Special shout out to all you Lost in Space fans, and in particular, Kurt Kersteiner and Ron Gross, who are responsible for this set. Ron Gross doing the art, or doing the cards. Uh, I told you I would do a review of these as soon as I got them, so here we go. Now, let me read to give you an idea of what these are. First, I'll tell you what we've got here. It's 105 base cards, 12 metal cards, 4 lenticulars, a couple of promos, and this, which is called an Earth Escape Ticket. It's like a boarding pass. It's pretty cool. I'm not going to write on it or anything, but it's pretty neat. And this is an example of what one of the packs look like. Oop. Credits. Okay. Now, this card is basically telling you about the set. Let me get a little closer here. And I'll read this to you. Well, you can probably see it. That's probably good enough, and I'll go ahead and read it. Let's see. It says the Lost in Space Initial Adventures trading card set is based on Ron Gross's book by the same name, which I do have, I believe. The goal was to offer the ultimate Lost in Space experience based primarily on the premiere story arc, which was basically the first 5 episodes of the season 1. Various lost scenes have been included that were either scripted but never filmed, or filmed but left out on the cutting room floor. Card numbers 1 through 52 follow this formula, and hence quality for canon status. I qualify for canon status. Both the book and the card set also recreate an unproduced 6th installment of the original story arc titled Refuge of the Damned. Information about this lost episode is limited, resulting in some level of speculation. Card numbers 60 through 71 correspond to this effort, but more sorry for me to read this, but more fleshing out of this story was eventually demanded or deemed necessary, giving rise to card numbers 72 through 90. These cards cannot be considered truly canon, but rather qualify for the term logically speculative. Card numbers 91 through 98 or through 99 touch briefly on the selected later first season episodes that qualify as exceptional. There you have it. That's basically what this card set's about. Get rid of that one. Okay, I'll read you a little letter here that came. It's basically thanking for the support to celebrate the 60th anniversary this year of the show. They made 1,965 sets total. They did have a few delays because this was started in December on Kickstarter, and I got this just a day or two ago, so it tells you the kind of trouble they've run into. Here's a bit of a advertisement for the Alpha Control podcast, telling about it, that they're going to restart it again. And here you can see the address. I'll put all these links to this and to Ron Gross's stuff down in the description, so you can check all that stuff out. His books, his other card set, Monster Wax. It says, in other news, some of you, they haven't done the podcast now for about 3 years. It says, some of you listeners of our free Lost in Space Alpha Control podcast, it went on hiatus in 2022, halfway through the series. But he's eager. It says, I'm eager to resume production, and Lane August, says he's just waiting to find spare time to finish sound designing the latest episode of The Thief from Outer Space. Since it usually takes over 150 hours to produce a review, you can understand why it's tough to find that much spare time. Yeah, I can't even do that. But it's already recorded and edited, so he's well on the way. Bottom line, hang in there. I'm hopeful once we drop this episode, we'll record more, although they should be a little shorter. At the very least, I'm confident we'll hear Thief in time for the anniversary celebration, which is this card set. So there you have that. Now, we'll go ahead and get on with this. I don't think I'll do 2 cards at a time. I'll just do them a little quicker. Let me get close here. We can check it out. Now, these are all from the first series, so they're colorized. Ron colorized all these because the first season was black and white. Hopefully you'll be able to read this. I'll leave it on there just for a little bit. Get a snapshot of it. If you have to, you can freeze it and read it. Here's card number 2, Jupiter 2, on the liftoff. Before liftoff, rather. And I looked through these already once, and they really are, I think, maybe a little better than the first set. Here's number 3, the robot. There's a Dr. Smith, when he was much different than in the later first season and all through the rest of the series. More sinister, a lot more. In fact, he was pretty much a killer. Here's number 5, suspended animation. That's a cool color shot. Some people may not know this, but I'll say it anyway. The very first pilot movie did not have Dr. Smith or the robot. But it had 2 aliens at the very end that was never shown again, unfortunately. And that's part of this, a big part of this. Here's number 7, meteor bombardment. That's when the extra weight of Dr. Smith threw off the guidance and put him into a meteor shower. Meteor storm, whatever. Here's number 8, victim of the assault. Marine having a little trouble after being revived, or unhibernated, unfrozen, whatever. Here's number 9, robot rampage. Now all these, like I said, this is all colorized, but the colors for everything in here are accurate because the second season, it's the same sets, basically. Some stuff was added, but the colors of everything is known. So it's not a guess. Okay, number 10. Breaking through. Yep. That's when the robot was supposed to pretty much wreck the ship. Number 11. Adrift in darkness. That's when John Robinson went out to fix the scanner. It was damaged. Number 12, Comet threatens. That's a cool shot. Actually, him and Marine were out there, so this shot shows that. Rescue from the void. Number 14, the derelict beckons. Okay. Number 15, swallowed alive. Okay. 16. Alien Command Station. This was cool. That was the bridge of the ship where they saw all the star charts. Too bad they couldn't have stayed there and examined them a little better. They might have known exactly where they were and how to get back. 16, 17. I'm on your side. Will Robinson. Shock encounter with the bubble creatures. They were also supposedly in hibernation until they were disturbed. And there's one of them. Alien confrontation. That's after you can see the laser. Smith shot it after they couldn't get anywhere talking to it. Number 20. A full retreat. That's an interesting mix of shots there. That's pretty cool. Does the job of 2 or 3 cards, so that's pretty cool. Good idea. Standing ground. Escape from an alien fate. Luckily, the thing opened back up. A few laser shots and cutting, and it opened back up, let them out. They were able to get out. Here they go to the planet, the nearest planet that they saw on one of the charts, to make repairs. They needed gravity, normal gravity, to do that. At least that's what I remember. Remember most of the dialogue on these. I've seen them so many times. Island in space. Same planet. Crash landing is imminent. Okay. 26. Final descent. That's a cool shot. I like the sky, the background. Okay, 27. Alien landscape. Okay. 28. Robot analysis. It's when he goes out and makes a soil analysis and check the air, atmosphere. Here's the chariot. Good shot of the chariot. Looks like he could get in and drive away right now. Okay, number 30. After the rocket belt malfunction, which Smith caused, there's Robinson, who landed. Luckily got him going at the last minute. Didn't splat, so he kind of semi-soft landed in a pit with some weird electrical crap going on. Electrical energy. Here's a Jupiter 2 crash site. The rest of the family looking at the surroundings there. Okay. John's logbook. This was a thing that they did for several of the first episodes, and then they quit doing the logbook, or he narrated what he was writing there for the end of each episode, what happened. 33. Robot terror. This is when the robot had orders to kill any Robinson that he found alone, other than the don't kill the pilot. Because he's the only one that can get him back. Campsite secured. That's a good shot. Have all the lights on at night. Giant pea pod that grew in the soil after Dr. Smith planted it. That's what they told him not to. Gave him no idea what kind of life was there. robot exploration. After hearing a growl, him and Will, they were outside and he went off. Race of the Giants. That's a cool shot, two of them together that you never saw in the show. You only seen one at a time. And basically the one you saw was the same one every time. They didn't give any inkling of there being more than one, which is really kind of odd. Trapped in the cave, that's a cool shot. Number 40. Now here's a scene that was filmed. I understand, because I've seen some of those stills. And some of the pre-fight of him flying around and doing a perspective shot of the giant reaching. Pretty cool. But this was cut, unfortunately, and apparently doesn't exist anymore. It's a real shame. But John was captured by the giant, and he shot him to get loose. Didn't kill him, but shot him to get loose. Here's another good shot of it. This, I believe, is a black and white shot. It's not the... He's not shooting the pistol, the laser, but there's a black and white shot of that. Of him being held. It's kind of a little practice there for Rhode Island for the Land of the Giants. With the big giant hand props and stuff like that. Here's number 42. Penny is rescued after this confrontation. That's how it was supposed to go. But you never saw the confrontation. You just seen him go out and find Penny. And bring her back. And then they proceeded, because of the cold, to take off and go south, which goes through the Giants Valley. Giants Canyon. So Major West shoots him. Don't know if they killed him or not. I don't really think it said, but I'm assuming it did because of the eye. Of course, who knows if he had eyelids. And they drove on past and made their way to the sea. Or had to cross the sea. Now this is before that, apparently. Okay. Cave of the Ages. That was the lost civilization they discovered. Trying to get out of the lightning and stuff, the weather. They took shelter in this cave. It was pretty cool. All the ruins in there. And all the hieroglyphics. That was a major part of the storyline that was left out after this scene, or this deal with the cave. Awe-inspiring spectacle. Okay, 48, the Lost City, and the ruins. Here's one of the mummies in one of the rooms of the ruins. Sacred chamber. Had a trap door. And this is a cool shot. In color, you can really see it. It was only visible for a few seconds in the actual show, but the stylized hieroglyphics of the giants, race of giants, that were carved inside there. It's really cool looking. Ancient alien signals. Yeah, these were, I forget what they're called. It says it on the card, you can read it. But the hieroglyphics, when you touched them, would tell you in your mind what it means. Which is pretty cool. Ancient medium. Now, they didn't show that in the show. That was not a thing. But in the original script, apparently, that was something that was supposed to be shown, and it wasn't. Or it was cut, one of the two. Rescue from the tomb. They were all trapped. Will, Penny, and Judy and Don. So they got him out, took off, and meanwhile, back at the ship, Robot gives him the orbital data, showing the extreme cold, and then within hours, this extreme heat because of the elliptical orbit. Okay. Here they are going across the, is now frozen, inland sea. It's after the cave. Here's the robot after Dr. Smith decides to warn them because he panics. So he sends him on a journey, 70, 80 miles, to warn the Robinsons that in a few hours they're going to be roasting. And because Don sees him first, he shoots the robot thinking that it's there to do him harm, as it has done every time it was activated. Number 57. This is after they read the data from the deactivated robot, John, and he convinces Don, with a little argument, to set up a shelter. And there's their shelter. Foil, whatever that is. It's a Jiffy Pop. Back at the camp, this was never, I don't know if it was filmed, but it was never in the, it's not in the original episode. Smith gets a visit from one of the monsters. Don't know if it's supposed to be the same one or not. I don't think so. Number 59, a close-up shot of that, which it's interesting the way Ron Gross did this. I know what this shot is from. I'm not going to say, but I know what it's from. Added to this scene with the ship. It's pretty cool. Works real good. No place to run. Number 60. Fury of the Inland Sea. Now, on the way back, after the mini heat storm has passed, they're on the way back through the sea. It's no longer frozen, which causes big trouble. Here they are coming back. Now, this is actually from the pilot, this scene, that did not have Dr. Smith or the robot. Because once they made it back to the shore, they all kneeled down and prayed. Give thanks for surviving the whirlpool. And here these aliens were watching. And like I said, these guys were never shown again. Oh, except in it was in the very first pilot with no Dr. Smith and no robot. They were never shown in any of the episodes, which is unfortunate. Alien centuries away. Okay. This is interesting. The Mystical Woods with Penny. I haven't read these cards, so I can't tell you much about it, because other than what I can see on the face of the card, so y'all have just to read it and figure it out. There's one of the guys. Ron Gross continued that storyline that they were supposed to do in the original, never did. Because these guys were basically in a war, or in a civil war, as you could call it, with the Giants. Because they were both apparently indigenous to the planet. That's pretty cool. Labyrinth Complex, number 65. Follow Me. Cool shot. Here's another good shot. Alien surveillance. Looking at the gray-haired guys, or gray-headed guys looking at the bald guys looking at the Giants. Because like I say, there was a whole bunch of Giants. There weren't just one or two. Here's another cool one. Escape the Lair. That's part of the underground civilization, I believe. Here's a good shot of one of the aliens. Telepathic message. That looks like the cave that they were hiding from the Giant. Telepathic message. That's pretty cool. Return to the campsite. That's cool with 2 moons. Oh, did that have? No, it doesn't have the corral. some of their shots from the first, actually from the pilot movie, when they show the big shot like this and they've got everything set up, you'll see the little corral that has the, well, they were ostriches is what they were, with a bunch of feathers stuck to their heads and to make them look a little alien, but they got rid of them because apparently they kept picking on some of the cast members, especially Billy Mumy. Spied upon from afar. '72. Smith Secret Mission. He was always on a secret mission for Smith. Alpha Control in view. That's pretty cool. The aliens looking down on Earth. Or looking, spying in on Alpha Control, rather. So it shows you they got pretty long reach. Here's 74. Aeolus, 14 Umbra. In view. Now that's interesting. That is the ones who supposedly, well, who did hire Dr. Smith to sabotage the Jupiter 2. That's pretty cool. Little control room. Which you never saw. You only heard of them once from that very first episode. Or no, he mentioned them twice. Because I think he talked on his radio when they ran into the derelict, thinking that was one of their ships. Geologic anomaly. That's pretty cool looking. Looks like something in Mars. A crater with some water in it. Alien architecture. That's pretty cool looking. Almost like something you'd see in the city of Petra. Here's a good shot. Head bull of the herd. A lot meaner than they looked on the show, I think. 78. This is a good shot. The Titans in full force. Like I said, the Giants were supposed to be in the show a lot more often. So they had a few visits to the Robinsons, gave them a lot of trouble. So they were fighting them off quite a bit. Here we have number 79, Majestic Atrium. That's cool looking. Looks like a time doorway. Okay, King OPEC awaits. That's this guy. I know this was in the actual show. Fifth Dimensional Portal. Now they did get a visit from them. They were in one of the episodes. I can't remember which episode it is. It's either, I think it's 6, 7, or 8 maybe, something like that. Fifth Dimensional Craft. The one right there with looks like a big eyeball. They were related somehow, I believe, to the to these aliens here. Okay. 84, Cryptic Entrance. That's cool looking. Chamber of Sacrifice. That's Will. '86. Past Exploration. That was the alien watching them in the old city. And the city dead, or whatever they called it, Dead City Ruins. Struggling to recall. Yeah, the aliens apparently affected their memory somehow, and they don't remember what had happened. I think I read a couple of these cards I read, but I didn't read all of them. Or not most of them I didn't read. Some of them I did when I seen something interesting like this here. Robinson doing one of his journals and having a hard time remembering what it was he's trying to write down. Memory erasure complete. 89. Transmission from beyond. That's these fifth dimension guys contacting these guys, I believe is what it said. And the two guys with the big heads warned the others not to interfere with the Robinsons, and they did anyway, because that's the episode you say, invaders from the fifth dimension. Distant relatives, it says, reunite. Okay, number 91. There's the ship, Erie spacecraft. That was cool. Cool design. Organic kind of a design, almost like some of the stuff you've seen later on, 15 years later in Alien, the movie. Luminary contact, that's the invaders from the fifth dimension. They have no mouths, so you can tell them apart basically the easiest way. 93. Faceless Terror. This is also was one of the episodes. That was the thought machine that they had. They found in the old derelict spaceship, Will and Smith, and there it is. You get 2 or 3 wishes a day, something like that, whatever you wanted. And of course, Smith gets greedy, wants a slave, and the alien comes to claim the machine. Here's a good one. One of Judy's better, and I think she said one of her favorite, Marta Kristen. Perilous Cyclamen. It's when Judy gets turned into a double, or she gets cloned by the plants. Copied, whatever you want to call it. And Smith takes advantage of that. Unbeknownst to him, the plants eat deuteronium, which is the fuel needed to get out of there. 96. And here's another real episode. The Keeper. 2-parter. I believe the only one on the series. Michael Rennie. Dr. Smith's old buddy from another series. Alien Spectre. This is the last episode of season 1 when John gets taken over by I think it was Quanto, something like that. Spirit of a Warrior King. And this is 99, Reflections. It's a good montage. Okay. That is all 99 of the cards. Now, here are the inserts, which are pretty cool. Here's one of the promos. Another montage with the cave in the background. It's P1. Here's another one. P1. This is a little anniversary card showing the date, 1965 to 2025, and the number. This is card, I don't know if this is, let's see, it's on another card. 110 is a number, but I think the card set is actually numbered, I don't remember now. I'll have to look. Forgot about the checklist. There's A, B, C, and I think D. That was A, B, and C checklist for all the cards, which are scenes from the opening credits of season 2, the animations. Here's B. Okay, here's C. This has got the inserts. Oh, here we go. There's the set number. I'll have to look at this with a loop because I can't see it. It's a 0 something. Let's see. Oh, wow. Lower than I thought. So this is set number 16 of 1,965 sets. That's pretty cool. There's the promo and the L1 through 4. Then you've got